Welcome to our annual Black History performance. And it's gonna be good. We just need some love from you guys, okay? You agree? I hope that you enjoy it, of course, but I also hope that you learn something new today, because that's a big piece of it as well. I am up here to introduce the 2019 Pact seniors, the 12th graders, their last year. So I'm gonna call them out and show them some love. We have Jasmine Cruz, Christina Hunter, Jensen Shaw, and Howard Shields. Somebody likes them. Give them a hand, our seniors.
Hello, and I'm Howard Shields. Welcome to the First, as your opening act, we have the Lampier Pact Singers, and they'll be singing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice, by the names of Ashley Shields, Aisha Shields, Shayla McCurney, Mia Willis, Talayla Isabel, Jasmine Cruz, Jensen Shaw, and Christina Hunter. We please give them a round of applause.
Up next we have the Who Am I's, talking about Black history. First up is Eric Stokes.
Go Eric! Go EJ!
I grew up in Pittsburgh. My mother was black, my father was white. I went to a predominantly white school. I was the target of racial threats. And I dropped out of school at the age of 15 after falsely being accused of plagiarizing a paper. I was the most accomplished of all African American playwrights in the last half of the 20th century. I was a Black Power activist in the 1960s. And I wrote my first major play in the 1980s. My play, The Piano Lessons, was first produced in 1987 and was adapted a television movie for the Hallmark Channel in 1995. I have a play that has been turned into a movie starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, who won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. This play is not only read at high schools throughout the United States, but by all the seniors. here at Lamprey High School. Who am I? I am Frederick August Kettle, also known as August Wilson, and the play is fencing.
Next up, we have Howard Shields, Cameron Stewart, London McDonald, and Ajane Brady with What is Pact?
Each year, we are asked the questions, what is Pact, what does it stand for, and what is the point of the club? And today we would like to clear that up for you. The idea of Pact started between 2008 and 2009 under the leadership of Ms. Gilmore, of course, and Ms. Gazinski, who is now the principal at Edmondson Elementary. First, let's begin with the actual word Pact. The definition is a formal agreement between two people or groups of people. The premise of the club comes from that definition about making an agreement with each other to do our very best, holding each other accountable for their actions, being there for each other no matter what. This means supporting each other academically, athletically, emotionally, teaching and learning from each other, basically helping your brother out.
There's a book called The Pact. It's about 3 African American males who were buddies in high school, who are going through personal, academic, family, health, and legal troubles. Although they grew up in a community of violence, ignorance, and failure, they all made an agreement, a pact, that they will all graduate high school and become doctors one day. To this day, they all are still friends, and they all are doctors. This is the type of relationships, outcomes you want in our Pact Club.
Pact stands for the power to achieve and conquer together. This is our 10th year, and it is important to know all the good that this club has done. Aside from closing the academic achievement gap between African Americans and their counterparts.
We also sponsor the annual Camp Food Drive, weekly tutoring, the annual prom dress event, and of course the annual Black History Assembly. Pact has graduated dozens of positive role models who have gone to contributing members of society. We will continue to build relationships and to help a brother out.
We grew up in poor, broken homes in New Jersey neighborhoods, riddled with crime, drugs, and death. There were no doctors or lawyers walking our streets. Where we lived, hustlers reigned, and it was easy to follow their example.
New Jersey overcame the obstacles and became doctors.
When I actually picked up that paper, for a split second I thought I might be dead. Police might be looking for me.
They were 3 brothers from Dirty Jersey, Brick City.
Are the authors of the New York Times best-selling book, The Pact.
Oprah calls these guys the most important role models in the world.
That book relates to what the young kids is going through now.
I see the change that I'm making. Even when I used to get in trouble, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it.
This is for me.
We give our hearts and souls to this stuff that we do.
Guys did it.
You have to stay aligned with your passion, because as you start to move forward, you got to make sure that you remember what you started off doing it for.
I was born in 1930. My father founded one of the first banks for African Americans in Chicago, owned a successful real estate business, and ran for a seat in Congress. My mother was a school teacher. Throughout my life, I was heavily involved in civil rights and social justice. I was the first Black African American playwright. I was the youngest American to win a New York Critics Circle Award. My play was the first Broadway play by an African American woman. I died at 34 of pancreatic cancer. My play is not only read through high schools throughout the U.S., but also by students here at Lanford High School. Who am I? Yes. And the vote is
Next up, we have Conversation Street with two very influential people from the civil rights movement.
Hello, Madam Moderator, brothers, sisters, friends, and enemies. I can't believe everyone in here is friends, and I don't want to leave anyone out, so thank you.
And to my left, we have Courageous Michael Keith, a.k.a. Martin Luther King Jr.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. The first question is one that I have heard numerous times. It speaks to the relevancy of events. Some may say it is time out for protesting and demonstrations, and that people will get along better without loud marches or activist leaders such as yourself. Campaigning around the U.S. making things more racist than ever. How do you feel about that?
Well, I cannot sit idly by and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham, Baltimore, Detroit, or anywhere else. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. Now, I'm sure that Brother X would agree to it that it's the perfect time to campaign against injustice.
Appropriate time? It's not just that time is running out. Time has already run out. These past few years have been the most explosive years America has ever witnessed. The most explosive. The political crooks will be in our communities with false promises, building up our hopes for a letdown, with their trickery and their treachery, with their false promises which they don't intend to keep. As they nurse these dissatisfactions, it can only lead to one thing, an explosion.
Good. The next question is, what do you say to those who feel that you should teach the new generations to go about? Do we wait until times are peaceful? What do we tell the upcoming generations? This time we'll begin with you, Mr.
Listen, there's a new deal coming. There's new thinking coming. There's new strategy coming in. And now that we have the type of Black man on the scene in America today who just doesn't tend to turn the other cheek any longer, the young Negroes coming up, they don't want to hear that turn the other cheek stuff. No. It'll be bullets or ballots. It'll be liberty or it'll be death. The only difference is it'll be reciprocal. You know what I mean by reciprocal? Well, it takes two to tango. When you go, I go. I don't mean go out and get violent. But at the same time, you should never be nonviolent unless you run into some nonviolence. I'm nonviolent with those who are nonviolent with me. But when you drop that violence on me, then you can make me go insane. And I'm not responsible for what happens next. That's reciprocal. That is what is meant by equality. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
For years now, I have heard the word wait. Wait for us usually means never. Justice too long delayed is justice denied. Perhaps it is easy for others to wait because maybe they can. They haven't experienced stammering, so explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she cannot go to an amusement park advertised on TV. or when you have to concoct an answer for your 6-year-old son who asks, Daddy, why do white people treat colored people so mean?
Listen, Reverend King, if you don't take a stand, your little children grow up and look at you and think shame.
Interesting. Well, we all are Americans. Isn't it time we just live that American dream instead of being, let's see, what was it specifically? Oh yeah, Reverend King, they call you an extremist. How do you feel about that?
Yes.
Just wait 1 minute there, Reverend King. American dream? Did you say the American dream? Madam Moderator, I gotta stop you right there. I'm sorry.
Well, okay then, Mr. X. Continue.
Well, I am one who doesn't believe in deluding myself. I'm not going to sit at your table and watch you eat with nothing on my plate and call myself a diner. Sitting at the table doesn't make you a diner. Being here in America doesn't make you an American. Being born in America doesn't make you an American. I am a victim of this American system. I see America through the eyes of a victim. I don't see an American dream. I see an American nightmare.
Well, I was initially disappointed at being categorized as extremist. But as I continued to think about the matter, I gradually gained a measure of satisfaction from this label. Was not Jesus an extremist for love? He said, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, and do good to them that hate you, and which despitefully use you and persecute you. And what about Abraham Lincoln? This nation cannot survive half slave and half free. And Thomas Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. So the question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremists we will be. Will we be extremists for love or hate? Justice or injustice? And that dramatic scene on Calvary's Hill, 3 men were crucified. We must never forget that all 3 men were crucified for the same crime, the crime of extremism. Now, 2 were extremists for immorality. The other, Jesus Christ, was an extremist for love, goodness, and truth. Perhaps the South, the nation, and the world are in dire need of extremists.
Well, that's all the time we have, folks. I'm your moderator, Penelope Street, and you've just witnessed this conversation.
Up next we have the fashion show through the decades. 50s. 50s. I feel good. I knew that I would not. 60s. 70s. 2000.
Ashley Shields. We please give her a round of applause.
I was an American novelist, social critic, and Broadway playwright. I would use my work to explore interracial relationships and other controversial topics such as homosexuality. I wrote a series of essays called The Fire Next Time, which was meant to educate whites on what it was meant to be black. If Beale Street Could Talk is a movie based off a book I made in 1974. It has the same title, and it was nominated for 3 Oscars and several Golden Globes. Who am I?
James Baldwin.
Next is our lunch sit-in skit, which took place in the 1950s and 60s.
Good morning, ladies. Can I take your order? I'd like some eggs and sausage, please. And how would you like your egg? Over easy.
I'm not hungry anymore. That table over there is grossing me out. Can you do something about them?
I won't be serving them. Can I get a waffle with a side of them out of here? They know they shouldn't be here. Seeing that they're here has made me lose my appetite.
Salt if I didn't go through it.
Hey ladies, how y'all doing this fine morning? Why is that?
That table's kind of dirty over there.
Yeah, let's check them out. What y'all think you can be here? Can't y'all read the sign? It's a white-only zone.
They can't read. You abide by white supremacy
All day, baby! Yeah, it's a white man's country. Y'all don't deserve to be here.
Let me talk to you, fella. Look how nappy your hair is, boy. Look how ashy your knees are. It look like you need some mustard cream that's somewhere too long.
Yeah, you get that deep one. I'll get this one.
Come here, boy.
Our last poem is going to be recited by Jazz Singleton. I was an American writer associated with the Harlem Renaissance who celebrated the African American culture in the rural South. I had to quit school when I was younger, but I ended up in Maryland where colored youths aged 20 and younger could attend school. The only problem was I wasn't 20, but I told people I was born in 1901, which allowed me to attend high school, the first step on my path to Howard University, Barnard College, and beyond. I wrote a novel called Their Eyes Were Watching God, published in 1937. The novel tells the main character, Janie Crawford, who finds herself through her 3 marriages. She sadly had to kill her 3rd husband because he was bitten by a dog with rabies. After my death in the 1960s, my house had to be cleared out. A man thought the best way to do this was to start a fire. Luckily, a deputy who I had met in my earlier life found the importance of my belongings and he saved them. Thanks to his actions, today the University of Florida in Gainesville has documents that otherwise would have been lost forever. Who am I? Zora Neale. Yeah, I am Zora Neale Hurston.
dance by your Lampier Pact dance team, or dance members. And they'll be performing an evolution of black dancing. Please give a round of applause.
The truth of the matter is that American culture at this point, what is truly American, is black culture to a large degree.
thing, just one thing. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. Thank you for coming. This is our assembly. We have another one coming up. But there are a couple of people I would like to thank. And first of all, our tech people in the back. I am technology challenged. I know nothing about that. I really appreciate Autumn. Can you please wave, Autumn? And Teddy. Thank you, Teddy, for all of your help. And I want to specifically thank someone who stepped in at the very last minute. And I said, listen, if you have to replace someone, replace them with the best actor ever. Tyler Black. Writer, director, Tyler Black. Yeah, I really appreciate him. I want to show some true love to my freshmen. Pact freshmen, just step out. Show them who you are. Step out. Those are my little babies. Pact seniors, step out. They are moving on to bigger and better things. All right, I also, of course, the sophomores and the juniors, they are all mixed in. We have two sets of twins up here. Twins, wave your hand. Yes. Wasn't that a great Martin Luther King Jr.? So good. Okay, so the last set of people I would like to thank are the parents. Parents, where are you? Wave your hands. Those are our Pact parents. We have some former Pact people. Former Pact students, stand. I want to see you. Oh, awesome. Right here. Up here. Where's the camera? There you are. Stand. We have people in the back. We have our ushers out there. Let's not forget our ushers. Thank you. So it looks like you have another few minutes.
Okay, so Ms. Yee does not know about this, but we wanted to give her a big thanks to everything she does for us every day. Can you guys give her a round